Ever wondered where everything came from? Not the Big Bang Theory, but a story far more brutal, bloody, and honestly, a bit disgusting. A story where the entire universe was built from the corpse of a murdered giant. This is the Norse creation myth, and it's one of the most metal origin stories you'll ever hear. So grab a drink, settle in, and let's dive into the gruesome secret behind how the Norse gods created the world. Picture this. Before time, before anything we know, there was only a vast, silent, empty void, an abyss called Ginnungagap. It wasn't just empty space, though. It was sandwiched between two extreme, opposing realms. To the south, a blistering, fiery hellscape called Muspelheim, a land of eternal flames and lava, ruled by the towering fire giant, Surtur. And to the north, a complete contrast. The dark, icy realm of Niflheim, a world of endless frost, mist, and frozen rivers, all flowing from a single great spring. For ages, these two realms existed in stark opposition. The scorching heat from Muspelheim radiated northward, while the biting cold from Niflheim crept southward. And right in the middle, in the great emptiness of Ginnungagap, they finally met. The fiery sparks and embers from Muspelheim hissed as they touched the frozen rime and ice from Niflheim. And as the ice began to melt, something incredible happened. The water droplets, infused with this primordial energy, coalesced and began to take a form. Slowly, a being emerged from the melting ice, the very first living creature, Skeimir, the ancestor of all giants, a colossal frost giant, born from fire and ice. But a newborn giant, even a cosmic one, needs nourishment. As more ice melted, a second creature took shape. This was Ojambla, a gigantic, primeval cow. Her udders flowed with 4 rivers of milk, providing the sustenance Ymir needed to grow and thrive. While Ymir drank from the cow, Ojambla herself survived by licking the salty, rime-covered ice blocks that filled Ginnungagap. And as she licked, she uncovered something extraordinary. On the first day of her licking, a man's hair appeared from the ice. On the second day, his entire head was revealed, and by the end of the third day, a complete being stood free from the frozen block. He was handsome, strong, and powerful. This was Buri, the very first of the gods, the ancestor of the entire Aesir pantheon. Now the stage was set for the cosmos to get a lot more crowded, while Ymir was busy creating more giants from his own sweat. Yeah, you heard that right. Buri also had a family. He had a son named Bor. Bor, in turn, sought a wife and found one in Besla, who was the daughter of a frost giant named Bel. So right from the start, the bloodlines of gods and giants were intertwined. Bor and Besla had 3 sons who would change the fate of the cosmos forever. Odin, the and his 2 brothers, Vili and Vi. These 3 were the first of the Aesir gods, and they were destined for greatness. As Odin and his brothers grew in power and wisdom, they looked upon Ymir and the chaotic, brutal race of frost giants he had spawned, and they were filled with disdain. They saw the giants as destructive, untamed forces, a threat to any kind of order they might hope to build. So, they made a pact. They decided that Ymir had to die. They launched a surprise attack on the colossal primordial being. The battle was immense, shaking the very foundations of the void. But in the end, the 3 brothers prevailed. They slew Ymir. Ymir's death was not a quiet affair. When he fell, blood gushed from his wounds in an unimaginable torrent. It was a cosmic flood, a deluge of blood so vast that it drowned almost the entire race of frost giants. Only one giant family managed to escape the red tide. A giant named Bergelmir, along with his wife, found refuge by climbing into a hollowed-out tree trunk, which they used as a makeshift boat to ride out the flood. From this single surviving pair, all future generations of giants would descend, ensuring their feud with the gods would continue for ages to come. With Ymir dead and the giants nearly wiped out, Odin, Vili, and Vi had a very large and very dead body on their hands. But they also had a plan. They dragged the immense corpse into the very center of the great void, Ginnungagap, and there they began their grand, grisly act of creation. They became cosmic butchers, shaping a world from the remains of their fallen foe. Ymir's flesh was torn apart and became the solid earth and soil of our world. His immense, unending flow of blood was gathered to form the vast oceans, the seas, the lakes, and the rivers. His massive bones were heaved up to become the mountains and the rugged bedrock of the land. His teeth and smaller bone fragments were shattered and scattered to become rocks and pebbles. His hair was used to create all the trees and vegetation, covering the new earth and forests and fields. But what about the sky? For that, they took Ymir's colossal skull. They hoisted it high above the earth to form the dome of the heavens, the firmament. To hold it in place, they stationed 4 dwarves at the 4 cardinal points. These dwarves were named Nordri, Sudri, Ostri, and Vestri. You can probably guess which direction each one represents: north, south, east, and west. And what became of Ymir's brain? The gods didn't let that go to waste either. They tossed his brains up into the sky, where they scattered and became all the clouds we see today. The new world was formed, but it was dark. To bring light, the gods journeyed back to Muspelheim, the realm of fire. They collected the flying sparks, embers, and glowing cinders that shot out from its fiery core. They took these celestial fires and carefully placed them within the dome of Ymir's skull. They created the sun, the moon, and all the countless stars. They then set them on predetermined paths, creating the cycles of day and night, the seasons, and the passage of time itself. The cosmos was no longer a void. It was a functioning, ordered universe, born from an act of incredible violence. The world was now ready for its most important inhabitants. One day, Odin and his brothers were walking along a seashore in their new creation. There, they found 2 lifeless logs washed up on the sand. One was from an ash tree, the other from an elm. Seeing potential in these simple pieces of wood, the gods decided to create beings in their own image. Odin, the All-Father, breathed into the logs, giving them the spirit of life and a soul. Vili gave them intelligence and the ability to feel emotions. And Vi bestowed upon them the 5 senses: sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell, as well as the ability to speak and move. From the ash log came the first man, named Esk. From the elm log came the first woman, named Embla. They were the parents of all humanity. The gods gave them a place to live, a realm they built by fortifying a part of the world with Ymir's eyelashes, creating a protective barrier against the giants who still roamed the outer lands. This home for humankind was called Midgard, or Mid. And so, from a primordial war, a gruesome murder, and a divine act of creation, our world, and our place in it, was born. It's a brutal and visceral story, a universe literally carved from the body of a fallen enemy. It paints a picture of a cosmos where order is constantly fighting against chaos, where life is born from death, and where even the gods themselves are not afraid to get their hands very, very dirty. What do you think? Does this top the Big Bang? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed diving into the wild side of mythology, make sure to like and subscribe for more stories like this one. See you next time.